It goes without saying that the internet is a place where we can see anyone doing anything at any time. From our desk, subway seat, or couch, we can finger point, chastise, and imagine ourselves on our high horses thinking that we'd never do anything so fucking dumb. But we're all human, and we've definitely all done some dumb shit at some point in our lives.
I'm gonna jump or off.
Enter the raw chicken experiment.
Day 1, eating raw chicken every day until I get a tummy ache.
On its face, a publicity stunt that makes most of us want to gag. This is by design. At least in the Western world, we've been told since childhood never to eat raw poultry due to foodborne diseases caused by bacteria and viruses. You're probably thinking,
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
this f***ing Nutter Butter wants a serious case of Chicxulub asteroid-sized shit.
That is one big pile of shit.
And he doesn't stop at eating just the chicken. He drinks the juices in the bag too. John, the creator of the Instagram page Raw Chicken Experiment, says he's going to eat raw chicken every day until he gets a tummy ache. So far, that hasn't happened. And I'm just kidding. I don't actually think he's a Nutter Butter. In fact, this project has a sort of genius about it that I'll go over later in this episode. Okay, now this video is going to have one hell of a disclaimer, so here it goes. As with all my videos, I'm just a normal person trying to learn more about stuff. This is in no way advice of any kind, except for advising that you absolutely do not try this at home. Now, before you hit that dislike button, let's think about this for a bit. If we went to any average grocery store, grabbed some chicken breast off the shelf, and started eating it, we'd probably be exposing ourselves to a shit ton of pathogenic bacteria and who knows what else. But is this how chicken naturally is? Filthy, crawling with bacteria, and probably parasites? Is all meat naturally like this? Totally not. If it was, then surely most of Japan, Korea, and other raw seafood eating nations would be rife with foodborne disease outbreaks and health ministries would be strongly advising against eating any raw meat. But actually, that's not happening. In some places in Japan, you can get chicken sashimi or even live frog sashimi. I live in South Korea, and I can literally walk down the street right now to a raw beef restaurant or get raw crabs and soy sauce, like anytime. These are delicacies that fly in the face of our Western food safety guidelines that we've grown up with. Using raw eggs is also extremely common in both countries, and in fact, the raw beef dish in South Korea, which is called yukwae, usually comes with a raw egg yolk on top of it that you mix in. Which brings up the question, what if it's not the actual food that's the issue? Most of the bacterial contamination on meat in countries like the United States comes from unsanitary slaughterhouses and living conditions that are all part of large-scale industrial farming. If you've watched any of my videos about raw milk, you'll know that these unsanitary practices and conditions date back to the mid-1800s during the Industrial Revolution. Industrial farms also treat livestock with copious amounts of antibiotics, which coincidentally and kind of ironically allows antibiotic-resistant bacteria populations to grow unchecked in these farms and on the animals, which can then go on to infect humans. To illustrate this a little bit, human stomach acid has a pH of about 1.5 to maybe 3.5 and can kill some strains of E. coli. But there's at least one strain, E. coli 0157, that can survive higher acidic conditions and then go on to cause food poisoning. E. coli 0157 will have its own video in the very near future, so subscribe so you don't miss it. John from the Raw Chicken Experiment isn't eating this type of industrial farm chicken. At worst, he's said that he's eaten chicken labeled organic from Whole Foods. Currently, he gets his chicken from a local farm that doesn't use antibiotics, chlorine, or injections. So why the f*** would anyone eat raw chicken? John has said in interviews that he was previously vegan, mostly. And despite eating mostly vegetables and plant smoothies, he was suffering from chronic conditions like cystic acne, back pain, and fatigue. First, he started eating various raw meats including fish, organ meats, beef, chicken, and kangaroo. Before that, he said the first time he and his girlfriend had beef liver supplements, it felt like taking Adderall. He also stated that learning about raw milk was sort of his gateway into trying other raw animal products. And after reading about nutrients in raw meat that significantly decrease by cooking it, he started introducing raw meat into his diet. After that, he created an Instagram page called Raw Meat Experiment, which eventually led to his current project, the Raw Chicken Experiment. His chronic health problems have since disappeared, and if you look at his before and after shots, you can see that his skin has really improved. It's so easy for us as viewers to be like, that dumbass, I'd never do anything like that as we eat our donuts and potato chips and whatever else we're eating. A common argument is that people who do this kind of shit are going to clog up the emergency rooms around the country, and someone who really needs help isn't going to be able to get it. But these comments are from the same people, most likely, who think that eating a bowl of sugar-filled vitamin-fortified cereal every day is healthy. There's a double standard here that makes absolutely no sense if you really want to talk about clogging up hospitals. So John's raw chicken experiment is actually pretty genius if you think about it, because it functions as entertainment while also raising some important questions about what we eat and where it comes from. It also serves to illustrate that a lot of people trying extreme diets like vegan, carnivore, keto, fruitarian, or anything else you can think of have chronic health conditions that haven't gotten better by traditional means. So take from that whatever you want to. It's crazy that raw milk is still as controversial as it is when people eat other raw foods all the time, like oysters. Some countries have laws prohibiting the sale of raw milk while simultaneously allowing people to eat raw beef, lamb, chicken, frog, fish, bottom-dwelling crustaceans, and even live octopus and mercury-laden raw shark. Please help me make sense out of this. I'm not at all saying that everyone should eat raw meat. But is it actually as bad as we've been taught for our whole lives? But what do you think? Have you ever tried any sort of raw meat? Did you get food poisoning from it? Does the thought of eating raw chicken make you as uncomfortable as it makes me? But aren't you, a little bit curious about what it might taste like? Let me know in the comments below. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you learned something new or found this video informative, please give it a like, share, and strongly consider subscribing. Thanks everyone who's reached out via emails in the comments. It means a whole lot. Take care.